y'all. Today we are visiting Capri Campers in Bluff Dale, Texas, and we are here with the owner of the company, Mr. Pete D'Acosta. Capri has been around, and it's an American company that has been around since the 1960s, right?
That's right. It started in 1969 in a little suburb of Fort Worth called Joshua, and then moved, and it was started by a couple of brothers. They were the Torres brothers, who were building Capris, I believe, in their garage initially. And then they set up shop in Burleson, which is again is a suburb of Fort Worth, South Fort Worth. And sometime years after having started the company, they sold to a gentleman. I don't know the legacy, honestly, in the earliest of years, other than the Torres brothers. But the company, the gentleman we bought the company from was a man named Henry Roy. Henry had owned it for many years through its heyday and moved it from Burleson out to Bluff Dale, out here in the middle of nowhere.
Now, yeah, if you look at Bluff Dale on a map, you're just looking at a little bitty spot in the road out
That's
here.
right. No blinking lights, just right here on the highway. But
right.
It's really a beautiful place. So
it is. Yes.
So Henry built the place in 2003 out here. We bought the company from Henry in about 2013, and we've owned it ever since. And we didn't know at the time, honestly, we didn't know the Rodeo connection, any of the history of Capri. We bought the company because we liked the idea of kind of what it represented. We were both, my son and I were looking for a company to own and operate together, and this looked like a great little project.
Now, tell us a little bit about the Capri Campers, because it's different. These Capri Campers, this is a truck camper, the classic, the good old truck campers. And you guys build a product that is like none other on the market.
Well, it's always been hand built from the ground up, so we didn't want to change that. It's a wood frame construction, which we initially thought we might change that, but the more research we did and the more investigating we had into aluminum and composition materials, we decided that wood was exactly what we wanted to stay with. Upgrading the camper was fairly easy because Henry had not made any upgrades or improvements in many years. So modernizing it once we bought the company was our top priority, and introducing a much more of a quality control type of setup for the building process. But the one thing we decided to leave alone was the quilted diamond embossed aluminum, because that is beautiful. The trademark really of Capri.
Right.
And that gives it the vintage look, and I think that's what everybody recognizes when they see our camper.
And what about these interiors? The interiors are
yeah.
We'll show you guys what we're talking about, but these interiors are beautiful.
Well, so we went with most of the big camper RV companies that do assembly line production are mass producing and looking for quick ways to assemble. We use the interior of ours is a lot more like a cabin, like an old style cabin environment. So we use several different wood grains, a panel veneers surfaces that make the camper look and feel really homey, like you're in a little cabin surround.
They really do.
Well built, simple. We don't have any black water or gray water tanks. So for those of you that have to have a built-in toilet system, we don't offer that.
They're not for everybody, but for those of us that are on the go and moving quickly, they are perfect.
Yep.
They are perfect.
Let me just say one thing about the plumbing. So we do offer showers and sinks with hot and cold water, and the water, the drain hoses just get tied off under the truck and drain out on the ground. Or if you're in a state park, for example, you can feed them into containers. So we have lots of ways to enjoy hot and cold water. We just don't have the plumbing for black water tanks. We do have portable toilets, so you can bring them in and out of the camper that way. But Rodeo has become, without a doubt, the #1 niche for us. Let's see, we have 130 at the last count, professional, world-ranked rodeo cowboys in our campers. All of the top 10 bareback riders from 23 are in our campers. 8 of the top 10 saddle bronc riders, the top 4 bull riders are in our campers. And it's just the perfect environment for those guys. They'll put 100,000 miles a season on their truck and camper. And they're built well for those guys. But
so they're very, very convenient. I mean, you got to think this thing is literally sitting in the bed of your truck.
That's true. You take it off if you're a fisherman, hunter. On the weekends, you can leave the camper at home during the week and use your truck and then come put the camper back on for the weekend and go hunt and fish. So we sell a lot to hunters and fishermen, in fact.
And it sits on jacks.
It does.
You can do either the manual jacks or the electric jack. So it's just on and off. So yeah, your truck can go just back to your normal truck very easily.
We make a light enough to fit on half-ton trucks, 3/4 tons, or 1 ton. So we build a camper for 5.5, 6.5, and 8-foot long bed standard trucks. And we just introduced a year ago a new mid-size Capri retreat as well. So if you have a Toyota Tacoma or a Chevy Colorado or something like a Ford Ranger, we build campers small enough to fit those as well.
But like I said, at the end of the day, I just can't get over it. These guys are they do things old school. That's what we said earlier. This is an old school company, and they do things right, and they do things the way that we used to do things. And I have such a huge appreciation for that, Pete. I mean,
well,
I
listen,
really do.
We, I tell everybody I'm a consumer first, and Tyson and I long ago decided we're not outsourcing any information, any phone calls, any service calls. So we answer every call. I mean, we don't get to every single call, but we return every call if we miss one. So
they absolutely do that. I can attest to that because when we were ordering ours, of course, Chris and I, we live in Florida. We're here in Bluff Dale, Texas. Chris and I live a little over 1,300 miles from here. Okay,
wow.
So obviously when we were ordering ours, we had tons and tons of questions. You know, you don't know.
Yes,
exactly.
they did.
Yeah, yes, he did. So Chris would sometimes call Pete, several times a day, and we got to the point that Pete would answer the phone and just start laughing and say, "Oh, hi, Chris," before Chris even said who it was. So.
Listen, that's one of the real benefits, I think, of doing business with customers like this, is that we get to know them quickly through the ordering process. Almost all our customers order sight unseen. Yeah. They may have seen a camper, but they're ordering it without a benefit of actually getting to walk in one. So we understand that. So we try really hard to answer every question. We've got thousands of photographs we can send and descriptions of everything. So we work really hard to make the process work for you.
And if you are looking for a Capri camper, where can they find you guys online?
Oh, it's just capricamper.com. Pretty simple.
Capri Camper, that's singular Capri Camper.
I think if you added an S, I think you actually get to the site. We own them both, but the original site was capricamper.com. So that's where we are.
You guys check it out. There's all kinds of stuff that you can find online. You can actually go onto their website and build out your camper and actually choose what your truck is, and then build out what you want your aluminum, what you want your wood interior to be, what options that you want, and build it all right there. And go ahead and have your price options and everything.
No, it works out well. So you do have a chance to play with it. It's a camper builder tool. So, and it has all the prices. And it adds it up as you go. So if you're unsure initially what you want on the camper or what the finished price will be, you can go online and play with that camper builder tool and just keep building it till you get it exactly the way you want it. And then we build it to your order.
And then, of course, if you have any questions about any of the different options,
call us anytime.
That's right.
We certainly will take your call anytime.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much. Hope you've enjoyed this video with Pete Acosta here at Capri Camper.
Thanks very much.
Appreciate it.